Hey everybody, Tom Gentile. Welcome to Tom's Trading Room and Optionetics. This is our market update for November 15th, 2017. Looking at the overall markets, the S&P 500 has pulled back. And as you can see by the dotted lines here, I've got a support level around 254 if we continue to move in that trend. And it does look like we want to give a little bit back here prior to getting into Thanksgiving week. All right, I also see bullish opportunities as Thanksgiving week is typically a bullish week coming up to this U.S. holiday. Looking at the bond market, the bond market, last week I talked about the fact that we had bonds move from a buy signal down here just at the end of October to about 10 days later, we ended up getting a sell signal. Well, look at what happened this week. We've reacted back to the upside. We might break out of this resistance and completely move away from this potential head and shoulders bottom formation. Obviously, still remains to be seen what happens there, but this is getting real interesting, folks, as the markets tend to start low in the morning and then try to regain a little bit of what's lost in the afternoon. But over the last couple days, we've been seeing the markets moving lower nonetheless. So bonds would move higher if the equity markets continued to move lower. Moving into foreign currencies, I'm looking at the euro-dollar. Notice this, when U.S. equities are weak, a lot of rotation goes out of the U.S. dollar and into the euro, and that's really what's happening here. And so we've really kind of violated this bearish triangle formation that actually happened a couple weeks ago. We'll be looking at this closely, as that if we break above this like we have, we should see about a 50% move from the top of that triangle down to the bottom, which will take it roughly to about 115 before it runs into any resistance. All right, also take a look at what's going on with USO. This is crude oil. Last week we had these big moves up, and we had this great move over to just about 12 is what we were expecting to. What's gone on since in the last week is that oil has rolled over, and we're looking at, as you can see here, a 38.2 Fibonacci retracement level, which puts us back down to that area of about $10.44. And if you look, that's really where the breakout actually began. So resistance could actually become support. Finally, before I leave you, let me show you this. So Apple, a lot of folks are asking me what's going on with Apple. I want to show you a neat pattern that we did over the holidays. So this particular chart you see here is we went back 10 years and we looked at Thanksgiving Day, and we were looking at what we call the bracket, 10 days before and 10 days after Thanksgiving Day over the last 10 years. 10, 10, 10. What happens to Apple 10 days prior and 10 days moving forward? Well, we found that in the last 10 years that Apple has a great tendency to move higher the week prior, the week just before Thanksgiving, which we're into right now, and about a week to a week and out after. We're looking at a roughly 4.5% move on Apple. This has happened about 70% of the time. Look at this 90% move. 7 days before Thanksgiving, 8 days after Thanksgiving, 4.44% average move in the last 10 years. That has happened 9 in the last 10 years. Thought I would share that with you. For a free trial of our tools, you can get to optionetics.com, or you can go to www.tomsoptiontools.com. There's a 7-day free trial for those of you who have never taken and used our tools before. Also, a link to my investment in medical marijuana. This was a special presentation we did just a couple weeks ago. Before we take that down, thought you might want to take a look at that as well. All right, thanks a lot, folks, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great evening.